Which one official? Oh, that. Did I sign? I did. Did I sign? Yeah, I'm good. No. This is the official one. Yeah, this is. Get out of here.
Everybody's good.
Oh, they punch me.
No.
Oh, I like this guy.
That's all I did. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. A few seconds. Good evening. I'd like to commence the South Bend Common Council meeting for Monday, May 23, 2016 at 7 p.m. We now have our invocation by Imam Muhammad Sarahuddin from the Islamic Society of Michigan.
It's my honor to be here to join all of you in prayer this evening. In the name of God, most compassionate, most merciful, absolute praise, thanks and gratitude belong to you alone. Our Lord, you are the Lord of Abraham, Moses, Jesus and Muhammad. You are the Lord of the East and the West, Lord of all religions and cultures. We implore your mercy to join our hearts in your service and the service of your creation. Guide us to the path of heaven and the eternal peace. Our Lord, most gracious, most compassionate, forgive us our sins and shortcomings. Open our hearts and minds to overcome our differences and see your wisdom and mercy in our diversity. Our Lord, you are the source of justice and peace. Make us channels for peace, prosperity, and justice for all. Our Lord, you are all-wise and almighty. Grant our leaders wisdom and guide them to use their power to serve the good of all and to fashion a more just, peaceful, and caring world. Our Lord, do not impose upon us, due to our wrong actions, leaders who are not conscious of you and have no mercy for your creation. Our Lord, you are the absolute owner of all the resources in the universe, sustainer of all the creation in the existence. Feed the hungry and the destitute with your divine providence. We implore your mercy and compassion to alleviate poverty, violence, hunger, and unemployment from our city of South Bend and from everywhere. Our Lord, do not test us by the suffering of the people. Give us the opportunity to help others and make us the channels to bring hope and happiness to the residents of our city and around. Our Lord, accept our prayers, grant our requests, and purify our hearts from ego, greed, and lustful desires. Bless us all and bless the United States of America and the city of South Bend with peace, prosperity, and the pursuit of happiness. Amen.
Thank you.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Clerk Fowler, would you please now take the roll?
President Tim Scott. Councilmember Preston. Randy Kelly.
Here.
Councilmember Berlin. Here. Dr. Varner.
Present.
Vice President Davis.
Present.
Mr. Gordy.
Present.
Mr. Furlick.
Here.
Councilmember White. Present. 8 present.
Thank you. Just a note, President Tim Scott is ill tonight, so please keep him in your prayers. We now will have our report from the Subcommittee on Minutes.
Report of Subcommittee on Minutes. To the Common Council of the City of South Bend, the subcommittee has inspected the minutes of the May 9th, 2016 meeting of the Common Council and found them to be correct. Therefore, we recommend the same be approved.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, the same sign. It is carried. Now, on the special business, we will have Bill number 1652, and Councilwoman Joe Bowden and Councilwoman Regina Preston will present that after our clerk reads that resolution.
Bill number 1652, a resolution of the Common Council of the City of South Bend, Indiana, publicly honoring the Sisters of the Holy Cross on its 175th anniversary and thanking past and present sisters for their dedication, leadership to a variety of ministries.
Representatives.
Hello, council members. I stand before you this evening in the month of May, a little bit late to the party. So I want to invite us, not only as a council, but on the behalf of the City of South Bend, to recognize a pretty significant event in the history of the Sisters of Holy Cross. And if I might, if Councilmember Regina would join me in inviting Sister M. Veronique Vidal, who is the president of the Sisters, if you would like to join us for this presentation. We'd love to have you up here. And as she's making her way to the podium, a couple things to Sister Jeanette Fettig, and also Amy Smessert from the Communications Office, who is helpful in putting together a very long history in a very short format. So convey my thanks if you would. So I'll go ahead and just start, and the two of us will join in voices as former students of the Sisters of Holy Cross at Holy Cross Grade School here in South Bend.
She read it. Now you can read it.
Whereas the South Bend Common Council notes that on August 4th, 1841, Blessed Basil Moreau, Anthony Moreau of Le Mans, France, organized a group of devout laywomen who were trained to teach and nurse to become the Maronites of Holy Cross. 3 branches of Holy Cross women grew from this beginning: the Maronites, Sisters of Holy Cross, and the Sisters of the Holy Cross. 175 years later, over 3,000 religious women of Holy Cross have joined the religious men of Holy Cross to minister today throughout Europe, North and South America, Africa, and Asia in fulfilling their commitment to continue the mission in the spirit of Father Moreau. And
whereas there are countless examples of the dedicated work of the Holy Cross congregation from the 4 Holy Cross sisters sent in 1843 to northern Indiana to assist Holy Cross priests and brothers in establishing a school for boys and young men, today known as the University of Notre Dame. To the many religious women of the Sisters of the Holy Cross who served as nurses during the Civil War and boarding on Christmas Eve, 1862, the hospital ship Red Rover to care for the wounded on both sides of the war. To the Holy Cross sisters who responded to the needs of the Native Americans and settlers by establishing orphanages and teaching Potawatomi children. To serving during the Spanish-American War. To the moving of a school, St. Mary's Academy, from Bertrand, Michigan to Indiana in 1855, known today as St. Mary's College, which continues to educate women in the long-established Holy Cross tradition of academic excellence and service. To establishing over 100 academies, schools, and colleges, and serving as principals, faculty, and staff, to establishing 19 hospitals over a 133-year period, to having Holy Cross sisters continue to minister in a variety of education, healthcare settings worldwide, such as Uganda, Ghana, Bangladesh, India, Brazil, Peru, Mexico, and many other places around the globe. And whereas the Sisters of the Holy Cross, from an apostolic community of religious women for whom the teachings and counsels of the gospel are a rule of life, noting that the general councils of the 4 congregations of Holy Cross launched the Holy Cross International Justice Office in 2000, which today serves as the Holy Cross voice to help impact the critical justice issues of our time.
Now therefore be it resolved by the Common Council of the City of South Bend, Indiana as follows. The Common Council of the City of South Bend, Indiana proudly recognizes the vision of Blessed Basil Moreau and honors all of the Sisters of the Holy Cross who continue to minister today, 175 years later, as educators, nurses, administrators, counselors, social workers, parish and campus ministers, retreat leaders, writers, attorneys, and advocates for social justice in addressing the urgent needs of the world. The Common Council publicly recognizes the core values of Holy Cross: compassion, faith, prayer, and community, and on behalf of the South Bend community, the South Bend Common Council expresses its sincere gratitude for and thanks for the continued dedication and service to our community by the Sisters of Holy Cross, past and present, and looks forward to future generations of service by your religious community. This resolution shall be in full force and effect from and after its adoption by the Common Council and approved by the Mayor.
Wonderful. At this time, we would like to just go ahead and hear. My sister would like for her to say some words.
Sure. I think it's very clear that the Sisters of Holy Cross history is interwoven with our history as a city, and in fact has touched our nation and our world today. So I think it's appropriate not to let this birthday celebration pass without this type of recognition and to share our gratitude as a community.
Sister would like to share some thoughts?
I'd just like to thank the Common Council for this kind of recognition for the Sisters of the Holy Cross. We've been here in Indiana for 173 of those 175 years and have watched South Bend grow to become a city. We look forward to the future where we can continue to collaborate with you all. Our retired sisters at St. Mary's pray daily for the governance of this city and for an end to violence and for the growth of the many services that are here. And we look forward to being able to collaborate with you in the future. So we thank you very much for this honor. And we also thank each of you for your continued guidance and governing of this city so that it can become, continue to become a city for which we can all be very proud. So thank you very much for your work as well.
Thank you so much, sister. I would like to start on my right, Councilman Kelly, and then we'll go down.
Thank you. I think it's obvious that our community wouldn't be what it is without the vast contributions of the Sisters of the Holy Cross. So certainly on behalf of myself, my family, my constituency, I'd like to thank you very much for your past work and look forward to having you in our community for the future and all of the good work to come. Thank you so much.
But I would thank you on behalf of many members of the city for your services and your help and your guidance and leadership in the past 175 years, and would hope that your next 175 years are just as productive and just as successful here in South Bend.
I was taught by Holy Cross nuns at St. Patrick's Grade School, and they were down the Forbidden Hall at St. Joe High School back in those days when we had separate wings from the boys. But I've heard many stories of so I can congratulate you for all your contributions to our community. Thank you.
Congratulations and thank you so much.
Again, congratulations. Thank you for 175 years of dedicated service from education, health, all the way through. And we really appreciate the great work and look forward to the future years as well.
Now by the faith, hope, and love, Paul says, but the greatest of these is charity and love. And you all have demonstrated that and have followed what Apostle Paul has commended all of us today. And so I want to thank you for that. Councilwoman Preston.
I want to share that I'm especially pleased to be able to share in this opportunity to recognize the Sisters of the Holy Cross. I am also a product of Catholic schools, actually Holy Cross School. I'm a crusader for life. And actually, as an educator, I can say that the high expectations, the commitment to not just academics, but service was a big part of the first 8 years of my life in school. And I attribute that greatly to the work that I do with kids now as a teacher myself. So I want to thank you for that influence and the impact on my life. Thank you.
Anybody from the public would like to speak in favor of this resolution at this time? You will be blessed. Seeing none, at this time, we would like to...
Motion to adopt back.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? It is carried. Please come forward.
Collaboration with all of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your prayers. Appreciate that.
They're there every day. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Congratulations.
Oliver, you're going to run this? You're reading it? Yeah, that's cool. You have to
I can't take you without.
Just have a read it.
Suspend the rules. Suspend the rules and the bill is for 1653. Thank you.
We'd like to entertain a motion to suspend the rules so we can hear 1653 right now.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? The motion carries. City Clerk, would you please read 1653?
1653, a resolution of the Common Council of the City of South Bend, Indiana, publicly honoring Thomas T.D. Davis for winning the 2016 International Powerlifting Federation's Super Heavyweight Junior Division World Championship in South Africa.
Since I've been... We'd like for all his family and friends to come up. Come on up. All them. Family, friends, everybody. Congratulations.
Oh my gosh.
First of all, since I was not able to compete for the World Championship, I'm glad that you represented me and helped me out there, so I want to thank you for that. Fill it in for me. A resolution of the Common Council of the City of South Bend, Indiana, publicly honoring Thomas T.D. Davis for winning the 2016 International Powerlifting Federation Super Heavyweight Junior Division World Championship in South Africa. Whereas the South Bend Common Council recognizes that on the Men's and Women's International Powerlifting Federation, IPF, competition was held in Potchefstroom, Northwest, South Africa from May 14 through May 21, 2016, with the IPF having over 100 members countries. And whereas the world competition began with technical meetings, followed by opening ceremony, with the competition for the men and women divisions culminating in the awards banquet held in the Hotel Blue Room located near Northwest University in the Northwest Province of South Africa. And whereas raw, unequipped powerlifting is governed by the International Powerlifting Federal rules where competitors wear an IPF-approved singlet which has no additional supportive elements. This competitive sports features contestants who strive to reach their maximum capacity, often in three main exercises: the deadlift, the squat, and the bench press, with competitors divided by their own weight class. And whereas the Common Council is proud to note that representing the United States this year in the IPF World Raw Men's Championship, which is commonly referred to as the Olympics of Powerlifting, was Thomas T.D. Davis. T.D. graduated from St. Joseph High School, where he competed in football and track, and developed a passion for weightlifting, which he perfected while in college, and with the guidance of his coach, Dan Gibson, owner of Strength Haven, as well as working out at Fit Shop with Fit Shop matching donations and a GoFundMe account, all work together to help make TD's trip to South Africa possible. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Common Council of the City of South Bend, Indiana, as follows. Section 1. On behalf of all the residents of the city of South Bend, Indiana, the Common Council is proud to publicly honor and to congratulate Thomas T.D. Davis, who won the 2016 International Powerlifting Federation Super Heavyweight Junior Division World Championship representing the United States in South Africa. Section 2. T.D., who is 6'3", and weighs 410 pounds, broke the 5-year-old world bench press record of 617.5 pounds by lifting 222.5 pounds in his third lift to win the competition. The Common Council wishes T.D. continued success as he has set the bar high for others to learn from his experience of hard work, discipline, motivation, and a positive attitude. Congratulations, T.D. You have brought honor to yourself, your family, and friends, your coaches, and the city of South Bend. Section 3. This resolution shall be in full force and effect from and after this adoption by the Common Council and approved by the mayor. And before I go on, I would like to ask our clerk, can you please, on my desk right there, there's a letter from the mayor that I left right there. And Mr. Mueller, can you come forth, please, Mr. James Mueller, who's here representing the mayor? Thank you. Mr. Mueller, can you please read the letter from Mayor Pete?
Sure. James Mueller, 14th floor of this building. Dear Thomas, I wish to extend my serious congratulations on breaking the bench press world record in the International Powerlifting Federation Super Heavyweight Junior Division World Championship this past Saturday in South Africa. It's a mouthful there. I commend your hard work, determination, and dedication that has qualified you to represent the city of South Bend, the state of Indiana, and the United States in the world competition. Again, congratulations on your high achievement, and I wish you the best luck in your future endeavors. Sincerely, Mayor Pete.
Congratulations. Congratulations. Before we hear from our champion, we'd like to hear from some of the family members and supporters. We'd like for them to come forth and like to share a word. Whoever will.
Jesse Davis, P.O. Box 10205, South Bend, Indiana. I got the pleasure to meet this guy a few years ago. He works out at a gym with my youngest son. My daughter also knows him, who is 16 years old. And I will say, if anybody, you looked in the dictionary under Gentle Giant, you would see this guy's picture. I've never heard anybody say a bad word about this guy. He's been to the fights at the Century Center with myself and my children. He's a great inspiration to anyone that he's been around that I'm aware of, especially my kids. So I do want to say congratulations to you. And with a name like Davis, how can you be any?
All right, somebody else. Go ahead.
Hi, my name is Diane Davis Perry. I'm his aunt. His dad was my second oldest brother. And I just want to say, Thomas, we are so very proud of you. I mean, he's class act. What else can I say? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Love you too, sweet.
I respect the uniform. That's all right. My name is John Curry. I'm the jail commander at the Elkhart County Sheriff's Department in Elkhart, Indiana. Thomas Davis is one of the people who work for me and with me. I'm proud every day to go to work with him. Him and his brother are shining examples of what we want in our corrections officers. And Gentle Giant is exactly the way I would describe him. He has a calming effect with the inmates. It has nothing to do with his size, just because of his demeanor. And he's a heck of a man. That's the only way I can say it. He sets an example for our other corrections officers. He mentors some of our younger guys. Fred does the same thing. Both of them really help me out a lot in trying to teach the inmates and the officers what it's like to be a man in today's world. So, thank you.
Thank you.
I'd like to say thank you, everybody, for this. It's surprising. I'm sorry I'm not dressed up. I just got off the plane not so long ago, so I had to go home and shower. I smell like the airport. But I appreciate everything. Yeah, it wasn't the junior division. I'm just gonna put that out there because I'm young enough to be, but they bumped me up because I lift heavier than everybody else did. So they put me with the big guys, of course. So, but it was an honor to represent, all of you and the country. Mr. Kelly, your father was a big part of my life. He was a mentor when my father had passed away, and I always remember his words and doing everything natural and don't take steroids. And, just little things that he did to come see me every day when I was in school. I never forget that, and that's one of the reasons why I'm here today. So I thank your dad and you as well, because you've always been there as well. And everybody here, I did it for you guys. So we're gonna do it again. We're gonna win again next year. I'm gonna train hard. It's not the end by any means. I'm already looking to upgrade whatever I have to do to become champion again. So I'm gonna keep this going. I thank you all for doing this for me.
If council members would like to share a few words, we'll start with 2nd District Council Member Regina Preston.
Thank you so much for representing this community the way you have on the biggest stage, literally, in the world. And I'm just going to say, be very brief, but I want to get your autograph. Can I do that? My husband would love that. I can't wait.
Do you have an agent? I'm always late to the table. Tom, it's so good to see you, man. I read this, I looked at it, didn't make the connection until I saw you standing there. You were a another grandchild from my father. He loved you, and he would always talk about you. He'd come home, and you made him feel so good when you would seem so happy to see him as just a little boy when this little old man would come to school to visit you, and you'd want to spend time with him. That made him feel so good. Your entire family, man, just meant the world to us, and I'm so proud and impressed with you, and I have been since you were a young man. So thank you for all you're doing, and congratulations. I'm going to send all these pictures to the rest of my family tonight.
Kelly, keep this thing going. Congratulations. You obviously know what it takes, and you have the heart and the desire to continue. So best of luck to you, and thanks for the honor that you bring forth to the city and to your family and friends around you. Terrific work.
Not much else I could say except congratulations and keep up the good work.
Thank you for lifting all of us up. You probably could.
Good politics. Congratulations. It's an incredible feat. So congratulations.
Thank you so much. I was just thinking, what an accomplishment. But what's more important is the spirit, your humbleness, and your commitment to do the very best that you can become. And there's greater heights and deeper depths. And we look forward to this opportunity next year as you come back, and we will honor you once again. Thank you so much.
It is truly an honor for us to honor you. I would like to thank our council attorney and the clerk's office. When we heard about your victories, we had to suspend the rules and rush you, put everything together because we wanted to honor you right when you got back, right in your clothes, coming from the airport. You wanted to say thank you for all that you have done to represent us here in South Bend. So it's truly a sincere honor.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
And with that, we'll open it up to the public if anybody is wishing to speak in favor of this resolution. Seeing none, is there a motion by the council?
Move that we adopt this by acclamation.
Second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye. Hey, why do I know you're still in charge? You're quite welcome. Thank you. Quite welcome. Thank you. You got a great network.
Thank you. Agent, well, I figured that. I can see that. That way I can see. Congratulations.
Come on, bud.
This guy.
Who are you?
That was great. Congratulations. You're, I bet, his biggest cheerleader, huh?
Almost like Joe.
I thought so. So consider.
We're running it.
I'll photo bomb.
Stand right here.
You're gonna get out. I heard. I saw that. I thought it was
You messed us all up. Thank you, John.
There you go. I want to see that.
No, that's good. Okay. 2:30. Actually, you know what? The stronger handshake is the guy in the loop. That must have been an interesting trip for those two guys.
Starting with Thomas was in third grade. And he was so tall.
All right, thanks, Gavin. Oh, yeah.
You still have, do you have some pass agenda there? I think my agenda.
All we need to do is motion to resolve.
Are you going to come over
Motion
here?
to resolve the committee of the whole.
Are you going to?
So moved. Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, cool.
I don't know.
No problem.
The committee of the whole is now in session. This is the portion of the council meeting where the full council meets as a committee. During each bill, the public will have an opportunity to speak. You will have 5 minutes to speak on any bill, in favor or against. With that, I will entertain a motion to continue 2016 to 6/27.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. I will entertain a motion to continue 2116 to 6/13.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? The motion carries. City Clerk, would you please read 2216?
2216, public hearing on an ordinance amending the zoning ordinance and requesting a special exception for property located at 6100 Nims Parkway, Councilmanic District Number 1 in the city of South Bend.
Is there a committee report?
The zoning organization met today, Mr. Chair, and we're bringing this bill to you with a favorable recommendation.
Thank you. Presenter?
Yes, good evening. My name is Matthew Chappius of the Area Plan Commission, with offices located on the floor of this building. The petition before you this evening is for a rezoning of property at the north end of the golf course, the Blackthorn Golf Course, that is. This is, I believe we're having some issues getting the presentation come up. There it is, sorry.
No, that's not good.
Would you mind just forwarding ahead about 8 slides or so? Right
There you go.
there.
Oh, back. Yep.
Yeah, that's fine there, thank you. As I was saying, this is for rezoning of this a small portion of the golf course, approximately 11 acres of land. The petitioner is seeking a special exception as a part of this to maintain the use of the golf course on the portion that will be zoned community business district. The site consists of 2 lots, and the petitioner is planning to construct a 6-story, 80-foot hotel with approximately 120 guest rooms. There's a 126-space parking lot to the west and north of where the hotel is proposed. The petitioner and the staff are working on written commitments at this time to limit uses on the site. The use limitations would be consistent with the rest of the Blackthorn Corporate Office Park. And this comes to you with a favorable recommendation from the Area Plan Commission, subject to the written commitments that have been made.
Thank you. Are there any questions from council? Seeing none, we'll move to the public portion. Is there anyone from the public wishing to speak in favor of this ordinance?
Oh, we need to formal presentation.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Brian McMorrow of Abbott Marsh Consultants, 750 Lincoln Way East and South Bend. I'm here this evening on behalf of Acquisition Group LLC, the petitioner. Acquisition Group LLC retained us to help for the subdivision and site planning for that 10.5-acre portion of the golf course. As we went through our design process, we were able to design the hotel and the parking that was necessary a little more efficiently than maybe we had thought. So the special exception comes with the fact that we only need about half of the 10.5 acres that we're seeking to rezone. And the balance of that, once it is rezoned from light industrial to community business, the golf course, believe it or not, is not permitted unless a special exception is granted. So we ask for your support of our petition in that regard this evening.
Great. Thank you. Any questions from council for the petition?
Yes, question. Do you know what type of hotels you're looking at in terms of coming, in terms of the brand and all that you're looking at?
They haven't made that entirely clear to me yet, though. They've kind of, but nevertheless, it's going to be a marquee name, a name that you'll recognize, and we'll be working more closely after this approval, if it's granted, with that group.
With that, let's open it up to the public. Is there anyone from the public wishing to speak in favor? Anyone from the public wishing to speak in opposition? Seeing none, back to the council. What's your pleasure?
Let's just go to the full council favorably.
Subject to the written commitment set forth in the area plan letter of May 18th, 2016.
Second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? The motion carries. I will now entertain a motion to continue Bill 2316 to 627.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
2316 will be continued. And with that, I will entertain a motion to resolve from the committee of the whole.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Get some?
This one, I'm going to need your copy. Because I don't know my name. Okay, just follow up there.
Full council is now back in session, and we'd like for our clerk to please read bill number 2216.
2216. Third hearing on an ordinance, amending the zoning ordinance and requesting...
Oh, no, those were...
Gotcha. I'm sorry.
2216?
I thought you were reading the other one.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Mhm.
I was going to say it's continued.
and requesting a special exception for property located at 6100 Nims Parkway, Council Managed District Number 1 in the city of South Bend.
Okay.
Motion for passage?
Subject to the written commitment set forth in the area plan letter of May 18th, 2016.
Second.
You have a second? We'd like for our clerk to please take the roll.
Councilmember Preston.
Aye.
Randy Kelly.
Aye.
Councilmember Broden. Aye. Dr. Varner.
Aye.
Mr. Vorty.
Aye.
Mr. Furlick.
Aye.
Councilmember White.
Aye.
Vice President Davis.
Aye.
8 ayes.
Thank you. Now we move down to our resolution portion of our meeting. We will now ask our clerk to please read Bill number 1647, which is a confirming resolution.
Resolutions. 1647, a resolution confirming the adoption of a declaratory resolution designating certain areas within the city of South Bend, Indiana, commonly known as 1915 Bendix Drive, South Bend, Indiana, 46628, as an economic revitalization area for purposes of a 2-year vacant building tax abatement for Apple Tree Associates, LP.
I appreciate that. Now I present.
Good evening, Sarah Heinzman, Department of Community Investment, offices on the 14th floor of this building. This is a confirming resolution for a vacant tax abatement for Apple Tree Associates. The total investment is $315,000. They have a total abated taxes of $39,188. The jobs created will be 3, and the annual payroll will be $121,000. And Tony Davey is here to speak on behalf of the petitioner.
Hey, let us hear from Mr. Case. Just come forth and just give us a short synopsis. Just state your name and address and then share a brief statement.
My name is Tony Davey, 17300 Woodhurst, Granger, Indiana. I represent PEI Genesis, the owner of the property on the petition.
Okay, and a brief statement regarding the project.
Sorry?
Pardon? No, just a brief statement regarding the project.
We're spending a bunch of money on the property. It's been vacant since 2008. Putting new roof on, putting in new sprinkling system, and spending a bunch of money on it, and this will go a long ways in helping spending some of that money.
I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Is there any questions from the council? Seeing none, we will now open it up to a public hearing. Those who would like to speak in favor of this resolution, please come forward. Those who would like to speak in opposition, please do likewise. Seeing none, we will close the public hearing. Back to the council for your adoption.
Second.
Okay, our clerk, would you please take the roll?
Randy Kelly.
Aye.
Councilmember Broden.
Aye.
Dr. Varner. Mr. Gordy.
Aye.
Mr. Furlick.
Aye.
Councilmember White.
Aye.
Councilmember Preston. Aye. Vice President Davis.
Aye.
8 ayes.
Thank you so kindly. Now, would you please read Resolution 1650?
1650, a resolution of the Common Council of the City of South Bend, Indiana, approving a waiver of noncompliance for late filed deduction application Form 322/RE and compliance with statements of benefits Form CF-1 by Runner Fast Runner, LLC, for certain real property known as Lot 5 for Kovalevsky Minor.
Thank you. We'd like to hear a committee report from our Community Investment Chair.
Community Investment sends us forward favorably.
Thank you. Now, we'd like to hear a report from our Community Investment Administrative Official.
Good evening, Aaron Cobb, Department of Community Investment, 14th floor of this building.
Aaron, if I could just
Sure.
stop you for a second.
Sure.
Kareem needs to read the rest of the title.
Okay.
Subdivision and located
Oh, I'm
at...
sorry. Yeah,
No,
that
it's
is
okay.
true.
It's my bad. Subdivision and located at 525 South Lafayette Boulevard, designated as an economic revitalization area under Resolution 4387-14.
Thank you for that correction. Now you can proceed.
Just a very brief overview from Department of Community Investment. This is just the tax abatement being referenced in this resolution was adopted on September 22nd, 2014. It was an 8-year real property abatement for an indoor training and hitting facility outside Foreman's Field. The original private investment and jobs numbers have both been met and exceeded. And with that, I'll turn it over to the petitioner to say a brief comment about the resolution.
Thank you so kindly. We'd like to hear from our petitioners. Please state your name and address, and you may share some thoughts about your project.
Sure. Ann Fischesser, Fager Baker Daniels, 202 South Michigan Street. We request a waiver of noncompliance as the petitioner, unfortunately, we were unable to file Form 322, the application for deduction, timely. It has been represented by the petitioner that we did not receive the form of assessment, the notice of assessment, which we were informed after receipt of the tax bill was actually sent. And so upon receipt of the tax bill, we filed all the required documents within the 30 days and have actually paid the taxes. And so now we ask for a waiver of noncompliance. As Aaron stated, that the original commitment was for $1 million, and actually Run Faster Run spent $2.5 million on the project. There were 3 jobs at $85,000 that was committed, and it became that there are 16 jobs now present at $111,000 salary. And so, Joe, I don't know if you have anything additional to say.
Joe Hart, President South Bend Cubs, 501 West South Street. As Ann mentioned, yes, it was something on our part. We did not receive the paperwork or felt that we have not received the paperwork for this, and talking with Ann and them numerous times, we took the necessary steps once we received the tax bill to go ahead, pay the tax assessment, and then do the process more or less on the back end to make sure that we're taken care of and at least pay everything on the front side.
Okay. Thank you. Are there any questions for our business? On the side? Seeing none, we thank you. Now we'd like to open it up to a public hearing. Those who would like to speak in favor of this resolution, please come to the mic. Those who would like to speak in opposition, please do likewise. Seeing none, the public hearing is now closed. We'll now move to the council for any other further comments. Seeing none, we then like to ask for what is your pleasure.
Motion for adoption.
Second.
Second. Our clerk, could you please take the roll?
Councilmember Broden?
Aye.
Dr. Varner?
Aye.
Mr. Wardy?
Aye.
Mr. Furless?
Aye.
Councilmember White?
Aye.
Councilmember Preston?
Aye.
Randy Kelly?
Aye.
Vice President Davis?
Aye.
8 ayes.
Okay, thank you. Now we will move to our first reading. Bills on first reading. We would need to have a motion to strike Bill 2516. At the request of the petitioner.
So moved. Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, the same sign. It is carried. Now under unfinished business, for committee referral only.
Make a motion to send 1649 and 1651 to zoning and annexation for 613.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, the same side. It is carried. Under new business, I would just like to announce that tomorrow there will be a meeting. Councilwoman Karen White, it's not a city council meeting, but it's administrative. Can you share what that meeting is going to be about tomorrow?
It's a meeting tomorrow that will be held at the Charles Black Center at 6 p.m. It's to receive information regarding Beck's Lake, the EPA, the Superfund site upgrade, and you will also be able to ask questions and seek additional information. So it's an update regarding the work that will be forthcoming in terms of addressing some potential issues as it pertains to Beck's Lake.
Thank you. Also, Councilwoman White, could you also make an announcement regarding the, you've made an announcement regarding the budget meeting that's coming up?
Yes, we will have a open budget meeting in terms of working with the city administration in terms of the new budget process. Citizens are invited. It will be an open meeting. This will be the time in which the council will receive information regarding the new budget process. I think it's priority budgeting, if I'm not mistaken, but also that we will have a calendar available for the public so that you will begin to see when the budget process will begin. It has been the practice of the council that the council members would submit their priorities. And we started this process maybe 4 or 5 years ago, and the time frame is really conducive as we begin to plan for the upcoming budget process.
And that first meeting is June
the kickoff, 7th.
June 7th at 4:30.
Yes.
Here in the council.
Conference room back.
Conference room back there. So please come, if you have budget questions, budget concerns, please come. Any other new business that we need to share on this side of the room? Any, yes, Councilman?
If I may, just a reminder for those of you that may have heard and may not know, the Mamas Against Violence Remembrance and Awareness Walk is this Saturday. We'll be meeting at 9:30 at Robinson Community Learning Center and walking from there over to Pearly School. Love to see you all there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other announcements on this side? Continuing districts? Councilwoman White, one more.
Not in terms of announcement, but again, we had made the statement when the council committee received information regarding Beck's Lake that there would be different websites in which the public could go and get additional information. I would want to say that the website, in terms of EPA as well as the city link, is not updated, or you can't get into it. So I'm going to ask the city clerk if she would contact the city administration regarding those links, because they're not live. That's EPA as well as the city's website as well.
That makes sense. Thank you so kindly for that. Again, any other further announcements? Seeing none, we will now move to privilege of the floor. Privilege of the floor allows you to have up to 3 minutes for a total of everybody for 30 minutes. And we will now begin. If those of you would like to speak, if you can line up there. And is there a sign-up sheet? Or do you see one? I'll get one.
We have one. There's not one up there currently now.
Okay. All right. We'll proceed. Just state your name and address, and we will move forward. You got the time? Okay. Councilman Varner will take your time. You may begin, Mr. Davis.
Jesse Davis, P.O. Box 10205, South Bend, Indiana. I'll be real brief. I really wasn't sure if it was going to be worthwhile to fill out another privilege of the floor, asking why the last 4 privileges of the floors have not been responded to at all via email, writing, or anything. I've asked that question of Tim Scott, the president, numerous times. I don't know if the rest of you council members ever see these, or if they just go to the president, but some very important questions. I spend a lot of time researching things and providing documents when I present these to you, and it would be really nice, since we spend our time to come down here and wait till the end of the meeting, if we could get some answers to some of the questions we have, and that has not been happening. These are the last 4 that I've filed dating back to January of this year, so I'll resubmit them to the clerk, and maybe I can get some answers.
Thank you. All righty. Thank you.
My name is Samuel Brown. I live at 222 East Navarre Street, City, South Bend. I represent a watchdog group called Citizens United for a Better Government. And one of the things I'd like to discuss with the council tonight that I don't know whether you have the answer, you might could direct me on where to go. The street crime units, Division of the South Bend Police Department, it's really been hitting those hotbeds in our city, trying to make it safe for all citizens. And they've been doing a good job. My biggest concern that we have talked about was that the funding for the street crime units to go late at night, because the weather's changing now, it's getting warmer, and they are doing a good job. Matter of fact, I was out to 3:30 Saturday night when we came in Sunday morning, tracking them units in the hot areas myself personally. I didn't get home until something at 4. And we want to let them know that we are 100%, there are citizens that's 100% behind the street units that's out there, that are making it safe for citizens to actually function in our city all times of the day and night. So, but we want to make sure they have the funding. You know, I don't want all of a sudden we're putting a lot of money just into reconfiguring our streets. But their street crime units, they need all the funding they can get, and it starts with you guys. You know, because they're doing a good job, and there are citizens that's behind them and support them. And I'm one of them, that group is one of them. And we got people out there, whether they believe it or not, that is tracking this. So I hope that we can get with the right people and find out do they have enough funding to cover their backs and their offices and try to keep up the good work.
Thank you, sir. Next, please.
My name is Elder Dennis Plump from 302 South Chicago Street. And I address myself as Elder Plump proudly of being a man of God and being a part of a body of believers who believe in the Word of God that says what it says about equality for all people, men and women, no matter what the color or creed may be. And I would hope to believe that all of you on the council believe the same thing. Coming to these council meetings, I noticed that you never fail to begin these meetings with a word of prayer. A word of prayer saying that God is not a respecter of person. He treats everybody the same. And I also see that you fail not to get pledged to the flag. And a most important part is where it says that indivisible, which states as unable to be divided or separate, with liberty and justice for all. But coming to some of these council meetings is a sad thing that when these meetings, they get started, you begin to immediately forget what you started it out to be. A lot of times there is no equality in these meetings when it comes to treating everyone the same. Certain people are treated different because of who they know and who they do not know, and what demographical area they live in. It's easy to see the millions of dollars that is spent to construct smart street and roundabout projects. But in our inner city population, we have to accept the low standards of improvement. We're not here asking for you to give us a great portion of the pie, but at least give us our equal share. We're tired of the crumbs and the bones that tend to be thrown out to us like we're animals. All we want is what we have coming to us as a whole. But it seems like this is too much to ask this kind of council at times. But we are no longer going to accept what you think is best for us. We're going to hold you elected, and I repeat that word, you elected officials, accountable for your actions, and that includes the mayor himself. I just want you to know that this is the beginning of a new thing that will be taking place in the South Park Neighborhood Alliance. And all we ask for is that you who have been elected is to work with us and for us and start taking us serious about what your jobs are, and not to be afraid that you will lose your position if you are not with the status quo on dealing out injustice. Begin to start thinking more about the people and then your positions. And I'm an individual that you will start seeing more and more. I'm a resident of South Bend and the South Park for 40 years, but I have sat back and have been quiet. And I've seen injustice in our neighborhood, but no longer. I plan to be a spoken out advocate in our neighborhood to give us what we are looking for. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Next, please.
My name is Marvin Creighton. I reside at 305 South Lake Street. There again, I've been at that address for 45 years. We bought property from the city and built a home at 305 South Lake Street. At that time, there were more homeowners than renters. So, but time has changed. And again, I am the second vice president. It's not too much I can say after Elder Plump talk, but I'm here to say, you know about all the killings, the shootings that go on in the neighborhood. You know about the problems with the code enforcement, all the grass and weeds that need to be cut, tires laying around for collecting water, and the weeds and the grass is a breeding place for groundhogs, and that's a big problem out in South Park. The tires with the water creates mosquito breeding, and you know what that called, Ezekiel virus. So we need to take care of a problem so that it doesn't become a bigger problem. We've got drug problems out there, and you can see right next door to me. Karen, means Councilman White, you look like me. You could be my guest and sit out there with me, and you can see what's going on, and they'll never know the difference it was you if you want to.
Okay.
Captain Wilkins is doing a good job, an excellent job, but he doesn't have the manpower. And he needs help. We need more police protection. And I don't know where that camera is. Where is it? Because I want to look the mayor in the face and let him know that these things need to happen. You know, we cannot continue like we're doing. No, we got to do better, and we can do better. And we'll be holding you accountable for it, you know, so that we can have a better life out there. And that's about it. I probably forgot something. I didn't write it down.
Thank you, Mr. Creighton. All righty, Mr.
Jason Bedicki Critchlow, 3822 West Ford Street, also a proud LaSalle Park resident. So I'll try and keep it short after the last two. But, you know, it seems like just last year we were here raising the fines for the tall grass ordinance. We were saying, you know, code would do a better job communicating with the park department, and we would get them, you know, get these vacant lots cut down. And yet, here we are again, coming into Memorial Day weekend. And if I walk outside my house, there's grass almost hip high on some of these vacant lots. It seems like at the time I said, you know, we had a plan to tear down 1,000 houses in 1,000 days, and then no plan on how to deal with this property once we were done. And here we are a year later with the same problem, even though we tried to put a high-dollar solution to it, because, you know, if we put big fines out there, that's going to change the behavior. And it doesn't seem to change the behavior. And we just keep trying to throw big code fines out there for every problem we have, without really looking at what's the core problem and what's really the solution. More dollar fines isn't going to fix all the problems that solve us. But, you know, for those of us who live in these neighborhoods, we'd like to not have groundhogs everywhere we go. We wouldn't like to have raccoon breeding grounds in our own neighborhoods. You know, we'd like to be able to turn a corner without having to guess, is there a car or a kid or a bike coming, and hope we don't hit or ruin somebody's day. So, you know, we need to get with Randy, we need to get with the city administration and say, how do we get these lots cut again this year? How do we not wait until it's beyond control again and try and cut them one time like they got cut last year? And then one other thing I'm going to bring up while I'm here before I leave is we know we've got the new roundabout going up over on Olive and Sample. Yet somehow in some part of this construction they managed to take out all of the street lights going down Sample Street from Olive to Lake Street. So when you come over that bridge anytime after dark, you can't see anything. And we know that that area over there is a high crime area, and now we're giving them even more cover of darkness to do what they're doing. So somebody needs to look into getting that fixed.
Appreciate that. Anybody else would like to speak? If not, I will respectfully adjourn the meeting. Thank you.